Hey, Don Sherblom here, Caldwell Banker in Clinton. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about the NAR lawsuit that you've been, that you've read about it, happened last week sometime. And then also focus in on home prices, what we can expect in 2023, the next month and a half or so, and also what we can expect in 2024, right? We're really looking forward to 2024 for a variety of reasons, mostly because we're halfway through November. Okay, so the NAR lawsuit, what was at issue? Well, as you probably realize, these home sellers pay a commission that is their listing agent will typically offer out half of that commission to the buyer's agent. So, in other words, both the buyer's agent and the selling agent, the listing agent, is compensated from funds that proceed from the at the closing from the sale of the house, i.e., the seller pays. All right, so that there's arguments to be made that that is a system that helps create a market, right? The argument against that, of course, is that in other countries they typically pay less, right? That for buying and selling a house. So the NAR has put together this infographic, which is compares the average money in the bank in a typical American household versus the 16,100 for the first time home buyers, medium down payment, um, and that lenders do not allow compensation for real estate brokers, right? So that they'd have to pay that out of pocket. So what this means really is, well, first of all, it's not going to be decided, finally decided until July of next year. Also, Coldwell Banker and Remax have decided they settled early outside of court. So they were not in court and not subject to the increased expense of the jury awarded. People love to hate real estate agents. Don't you love that? As a real estate agent, I don't actually. But in any case, so that's the lawsuit. When it will happen is next year. What will happen is a little bit less easy to determine. Either nothing or buyer's agents will be paid um, by the buyer. That may lower prices, which, as of right now, we'll see. Prices are just barely a little bit questionable, a little softer. The market's a little softer than it was. Um, if buyers have to shell out money to hire a realtor to represent them, then that could lower the overall sale price of the house by that much, and also be hard for buyers to come up with that money. Um, so that's those are possibilities, but what that means is that the buyer's agency would be a signed agreement, just as the listing agreement is. All right, that's I think probably the most likely outcome next year sometime. Um, as you can see here, that the interest rates have gone up, and the inventory has gone down and down. Right, so if we look at inventory in New Jersey, it has from January 2019 through September of 2023, it has decreased, right? And in Hunterdon County, we've got like, what is it, 2.5 months? Yeah, 1.6 to 2.5, 2.1 months supply to sell every house on the market, right? So this is actually a better graph of supply and demand ratio, that graph that I put together. Hunterdon County inventory months to sell every home on the market. Typically, as you can see there in the pre-COVID, just in the months before COVID hit us in, I think it was March of 2020, inventory was between 4 and 6 months to sell every house on the market, some of which, of course, did not sell. But that's the ratio of buyers to sellers. And right now, it's been hovering around 2 months to sell every house on the market, and it's still at that. It's starting to go up a little bit there, but that may be maybe something real. It may not be. We'll have to take a look at that at the end of November. And you can imagine that with higher interest rates, it reduces the purchasing power that people have, and rates have gone up from 2.7 to 7.19 or more. Depending on the person, but the average mortgage rate is around 7 plus. Now, the effect on a first-time home buyer is, as you can see here, the would qualify for 383, 355 if the mortgage rate was 2.77. If it's at 7.19, then they qualify for a much lower priced house, $98,000. So it does make a huge difference. Here you've got a move up buyer that could have purchased a over $1 million house at the 2.77 interest rate. In today's interest rate environment, you'd be looking more at an $800,000 house. All right, so what we see here is that there's been fewer, comparing each month to that month the year before, right? There's been a decline in the number of purchase contracts, even though the dollar amount of the purchase price has remained steady. It is much less steady than it used to be, right? It used to be they have 14 offers on a property within the first week. Now you might get 2 or 3. So it does make a difference there, right? So with the higher interest rates, you've seen a long drop off in the number of homes that have sold compared to the number last year. And the peak after COVID hit us in early 2020, we had a couple of good years there, 2021, 2022, and then we've had a decline in the inventory and the number of existing home sales has dropped off, mostly due to a shortage of inventory. Right. So the mortgage rates may be at a breaking point. Right. It may be that the Fed will step back and let the rates go down. We're very close to what we would expect to be a 2% inflation rate. Inflation numbers are very good this past week. It remains to be seen if the Fed will do one more bump up or just leave interest rates alone. Wall Street seems to think that it's going to be left in the current state without another increase in mortgage rates or in short-term rates, which affects the bond market. Okay, so what the future holds depends on who you are and how you look at things, right? But we all have different crystal balls. But Jeffrey Otto is an appraiser in New Jersey. He thinks that we're entering a risk of recession period, that we're approaching the 2% threshold. Recession should be short and shallow, i.e. a softer landing, that homes will outperform other real estate sectors like commercial lending, et cetera, or commercial sites. Rebound effect on the backside, interest rates fall and tight inventory loosens. This would be really what we're looking for, is that if inventory goes up, the number of buyers and sellers, that number of sales would be greater. And that would be a very good thing. Pent up demand among millennials, trade ups, downsizing. It's like a dam. You can only hold back the water for so long, right? So people's life changes over time. They need more space, they need less, etc. Slight haircut. I have a slight haircut myself here in 2024. I've got one in 2023. Return to the long-term trend in 2025. And of course, the Gateway Tunnel is back on track, so to speak, right? So that's going to help with New Jersey real estate, especially in those towns that are near the towns where you have trains that go one seat to New York, and there may be an increase in the number of towns that fit that description. Now, he holds that there's going to be 4% decline in the home sale prices in 2024. I don't think that, but there's certainly a reason to think that, right? That's a possibility. And we'll have to just keep a close eye on inventory and just see how the market starts to open up, right? If it starts to open up where there's more buyers and sellers, then in more activity, then that would be a very good thing, right? The market is a little bit frozen. Oh, look who the heck is that guy. In any case, so give me a call. This is my cell phone number. You can reach me at it. almost any time. Call me, and I'd be happy to take a look at your house and tell you where it stands in today's market and where the market's headed for homes like yours in Hunterdon County. Okay, so until then, I look forward to speaking with you, and until then, take care. Bye.